Now the reason that I think this is happening is because, like I said, I must have made a change to a piece of geometry here from the other ones. And that's the reason it's not UV mapping properly. You were doing an interior model yesterday, bathroom. You got almost done with it. You was about to do the materials and accidentally closed Blender. You're not the only one. We've all done it. Believe me. Everybody at some stage when they've been working on something has hit the wrong button, the wrong key, or the software has crashed. And you've lost hours of work. So yeah, it's just always a really good habit to get into to regularly save and not rely on autosave either. Because a lot of software will autosave for you, but I prefer to do it manually because I like to know when it's been saved and that it's been saved properly. SP new. I'll call this one SP old. And while I'm here, I'm also just going to move my pivot there again. Not necessary for this model, but helps just for me to move it into place. And again, I'm going to select the old version and delete it. Now we can exit isolation mode. Jump back into full screen. And now we'll assign our texture to it. I don't have to copy the UVs across because it should already be there. And we're going to assign this one here. Once I select the object, of course. No, it does want the UVs to be copied, alright. No problem, I'll copy the UVs across again. There we go. Let's see if we're going to have to say it. No, I have a feeling the ones that are in 3 pieces will be fine. It's only any that may be already attached we may have a problem with. Now, the other thing to, I think may be causing that problem is if you do an attach in an order different from the original, then that will also change the UV assignment. So even though the geometry may be exactly the same, if it hasn't been attached in that same order, you're going to have a problem. Just something to keep in mind. We're going to select these 3 pieces and we're going to attach them. After we convert them to a poly, of course. You'll notice too that I use the mouse to do all of this sort of thing. You can set up hotkeys so that you don't have to, you know, use your mouse and move it all over the screen to select different things. I don't do that because I want to, you guys who may be wanting to learn Macs to see where I'm going with my mouse. And if I'm using a hotkey, you're not going to know what I'm doing. So I recommend setting up hotkeys if you want to speed up your workflow, but I don't do it so that you guys watching can see exactly what I'm doing at any time. You want to do it for a living, first dawn. Reckon it was the first model you'd done in probably 2 years. Oh no, I had to take time off because it was always just been done at hobby. Yeah, save your work regularly. Just save. So, you know, after you've been working for half an hour or so, then just save your file. Get into that habit, and I got into that habit through using Eon View, because when I started using it, Eon View, when it was version 6, and they're up to version 14 now, I think they call it 2016. But that program used to crash constantly, so that got me into the habit then of regularly saving my work. It's heartbreaking, you know, if you've been working for hours on something, and particularly if you don't get a lot of time to work on something, to have it crash and lose all of that. Terrible. And the other thing that breaks my heart too is when I create something and store it on my hard drive, forget either where I put it or delete it by accident. Something that I wanted to keep. I've done that before as well. Such is life, I guess. Okay. Let's start back at the beginning, I guess. Yeah, we'll go back to number 1. And again, it looks like we may be having that problem. That is really odd. I don't know why we're having that problem. I think I do know. When I created this model, I did a mirror. So I created one side and then mirrored it to create the other side. And creating the mirror, I think I've messed the UVs up. So I think that's why we're having problems with this side here. But again, easy enough to fix, really. We're going to select those 2 pieces and go back into isolation. See, these are both using the same texture, but you can see the difference. They're not, it's not texturing up properly, as you can see here. You should get a drafting job, CNAG. Okay, again, let's jump into our top viewport and again, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and drag a copy of that. And again, I'm going to, this centering of the pivot is not necessary, but I like to do it anyway. Considering I'm here and it's a quick 5-second job, we might as well center the pivot. I'm going to put an N there for new. I'm going to select the old one and delete it. And we're going to copy our UVs across again. In a way, it's good that these little problems crop up because it gives you an option, a chance to see how you can fix them or correct them. And again, I'm pretty sure that's because I did a mirror of the geometry here. So I have a feeling these ones are probably going to also be a problem, but we'll keep going and we'll see. Alright, let's try copying our UVs across. See, generally, if the underlying geometry is different, I shouldn't be able to paste that UV in here. But because I can, that tells me that there's some other problem, and I'm sure the problem is the mirroring. You just got to be careful when you start mirroring geometry. Let's assign a texture and see if it's going to be mucked up again. That was number 1, that texture, so I'm going to go with number 2. And again, it is. We can see that the geometry is messed up. The UVs are messed up. And I have a feeling that's going to keep happening until we get to here, because that's where the mirror geometry ends. So instead of doing everyone individually like that, I'm going to grab a few of them. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Starting with second. I'm going to copy them from here, and if the textures look like they're repeating too close, then I'll change the textures on them. But I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Before I go into isolation mode, I'm going to copy them here. Again, the shift key and drag out. All right. Now I'm going to select these 5 as well. And again, these are in pieces, so it's just going to be a little bit more cumbersome to select them all. Alright, actually there's 4, oh no 5, that's this one there. Alright, we have our pieces selected. Let's jump into isolation mode and jump into our top viewport. These are the good ones, these are the ones that are being replaced. Let's start here. I'm just going to start by centering all of these pivots. And where we'll start moving them into position. I know they're in the right Z position, so I can work in the top viewport only. Just going to rename them so when I go to delete the old ones, I know which ones are which. I'm also going to group those so that they're easier to delete when I delete them. Yeah, and me renaming this is just so that when I know which one is which one I want to delete and which one I don't. It's the only reason I'm renaming it. The names really don't matter. They only matter so I can see which one is the original, which one's the new one. I don't want to do that. That's the group, I don't want that. All right. Now, I know it's a group, so that can be deleted. Again, group can be deleted. Delete the group. Delete the group. Alright, now we can exit isolation mode. And we should be able to just select one and copy the UVs across. So I'm going to do this before I apply the texture maps. You see the texture maps popping in? That's because it's using the same texture maps as the copies we took it from over here. And this one here on the end. Alright. Let's have a bit of a look here. Actually, let's go full screen so it's easier to work with. Alright, let's see if we're going to have that problem here. Because I can't remember whether I mirrored these or not. Because again, this was weeks and weeks ago at the very early stages when I was doing the layout, the general design. Well, let's do one, and if one works, the others shouldn't. The others should, hopefully. Okay, we're going to attach these pieces together. It's not what I wanted. I want to go exit isolation mode. Alright, let's copy our UVs across. And let's assign a texture map. I think that was number 1 there. So let's work from the other end, I think, now. I did stream the whole model, yeah. I did. I streamed the entire model from the very beginning when I was doing the initial, when I did the initial layout. Nothing was textured. A lot of the geometry wasn't finalized, so you can watch all the old broadcasts on my Twitch channel under videos. The past broadcasts get deleted after 2 weeks, but I always upload each broadcast into 3 parts on Twitch. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, _PhilDoes3D, because they're all there. I started the model back in October, so there's quite a few there, if you did want to watch it from the beginning. They are all on my YouTube channel. Again, we're having that problem. I've obviously done the same thing again to save time. When I created the model, I think I mirrored them from that side to this side. And that's causing us a problem. But easy enough to fix without going in and redoing all those UVs. So, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to mirror them again, but we're going to mirror them already textured. Oh cool, if you sub to my YouTube channel, you'll find them all there. They're all in order, starting in October and then November and now December. All of those streams are working on this model here. So. Okay, let's do this. This is going to be the easiest and the quickest way to fix this problem. No problems. No problems, First Dawn. Thank you for popping in to the stream and watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you around again. Get some sleep. No worries. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for following my channel. I really do appreciate it. My Twitch channel. Yeah. Have a good night's sleep. Or a good morning sleep. 4:30 a.m. Okay, we've selected all of those. It is early. You take care too. Thanks again for watching and for following. We've selected those. I'm going to copy them across to the other side by holding down the Shift key. Now, I'm going to mirror them. You see what I mean by the mirroring messing up the UVs? We could flip the UVs in the UV editor, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to the original here. And I'm just going to replace them by hand. I'd either have to go into each individual UV channel, throw an unwrap UV on it and flip the UVs that way. I think the easiest way though is going to be to do it by just manually replace these pieces by hand, so because that's going to have to be done anyway. So I'm going to select these pieces here. So basically what is happening is when you do a mirror, it's mirroring the geometry, but it's also flipping the UV channel. So you could, like I said, jump into the UV map for each support piece and flip it that way, but I think it's going to be easier just to replace the pieces completely. So we have them all selected. Let's jump back into isolation mode again. These are the old ones, these are the new ones. I'm going to select all the old ones and I'm going to group them. I'm also going to jump into the top viewport. Yeah, it's happening because, like I said, when you are doing a flip on a mirror on any geometry, Max is not only mirroring the physical polys, but it's also flipping the UV channel. You're telling it to flip the polygons. For some reason, it's deciding to flip the UV channel as well, and it shouldn't really do that, but it is. It could be a bug in Max 2017 that I'm not aware of, or they're not aware of. It's a little bit annoying, but we can work around it. I'm just going to select all of those and I'm going to rotate them. So instead of doing a mirror, I'm going to actually rotate them physically so that they're facing in the right direction, or about the right direction. Now we're just going to move them into place. So I'm just going to initially get them lined up. It's a bit annoying, I agree. It shouldn't really be happening. Max should not be flipping the UV channel if it's doing a mirror on the geometry. I know that there are a few problems in Max 2017, like I can't use DirectX 11 mode because it crashes Max, and that's a problem with the NVIDIA drivers. And Autodesk know about it, I've told them about it. NVIDIA know about it. They haven't fixed it yet. In fact, we're not going to use this piece here because that has the flip geometry as well. So what I'm going to do is I'll delete that piece and I'll take a copy of one of these. Again, just by holding down the shift key and the left mouse button. Alright, let's get these into place. Again, you have an option called snap to geometry where you can snap to underlying geometry. I'm not using that either because that is causing problems in Max at the moment in 2017. It would make lining these up easier, but unfortunately I can't use it until they fix the problems in Max. I could jump back into 2016 and use that version, but I like the speed in the viewport that 2017 gives. Aiden, unwrap it. You're not used 2017 yet, you have 2015. When you say unwrap it, you want me to do an unwrap again on my model. But if I do that though, then I'll have to retexture it. See, what I'm doing with these is I'm copying the texture map between the UV maps between different pieces of geometry. So and I don't want to have to retexture it again if I change the UV map. So like I said, this is just as easy to fix it this way as well. You're lucky you're using 2015, because like I've been saying, that Max 2017 is having all sorts of problems with the latest NVIDIA drivers. There are a lot of functions that I can't use because it crashes the program. You use a lot of V-Ray proxies in scenes. Yeah, V-Ray proxies are fast, that's for sure. If you are doing V-Ray rendering, yep. I'm not using proxies here though because I have to export this model so I can bring it into Eon View to do the beauty renders. I'm not going to actually be rendering it in 3D Studio Max. I use V-Ray when I do render in Max, but yeah, these aren't going to be rendered in Max, they're going to be rendered in Eon View. You bought the 2015 suite, cool. So you've got like Mudbox and all that sort of stuff as well. Mudbox is a good program. Just a shame Autodesk don't seem to be developing it much anymore. So does that mean you got the suite that comes with Mouya as well? One of those sort of suites of software? And again, I've got angle snapping turned off here because these aren't all at a set angle. So you prefer ZBrush? Yeah, look, I've used ZBrush too, and it's good for sculpting. Probably you're right. It probably is a little better than Mudbox. Mudbox is a bit easier to understand the layout of. I don't like the interface of ZBrush very much. But again, that's my personal taste. I just find things hard to find in ZBrush sometimes with their menus. But I have ZBrush, I use ZBrush too. Oh, the one with AutoCAD and Revit. Oh, cool. That certainly saves a lot of money because AutoCAD is an expensive piece of software. Alright, so now we're going to select all of the old ones, which we grouped into one piece, so we know which ones they are. We're going to delete them. Oh, and let's exit isolation mode again now. Jump into full screen here. Alright. And now let's assign some textures to these. Let's start back at the beginning here, our first version of the texture. And it looks like we have to copy our UVs across, so we'll go into the Utilities tab and open up our channel info, copy it and paste it. And we're going to do that for all of these copies we just made. Again, when we did the copy, holding the Shift key max obviously didn't copy the UV channels across. So. But remember the textures, obviously, so they're popping into view when we assign our UVs. So, Theoden, have you done much work with AutoCAD? Paste that one. And we have these two here at the front. Just here. Alright, so it was like a detour of 10 minutes or so, but we got them all copied over. Something just to be aware of. I don't know if it's a problem with Max 2017, but using the mirror command is going to mess up your UVs. So if you have a textured model, try not to use the mirrored command. Unless you flip your UVs by going into the UV manager, UV map. So all we've got really left to do now are the few that are in here. Oh, you were a draftsman for 5 years. Oh, cool. You're both draftsmen. There you go. Oh, does it? I didn't have a problem with it with version 2016. I've used the mirror tool, and generally it hasn't been. I haven't come across this problem before, but I know that there's a lot of problems in 2017 at the moment. I just like the viewport because they really sped it up with the nitrous viewport. You're not anymore. You're a 3D artist. Cool. You still use CAD to make your models. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, CAD is good for that. Personally, I don't use CAD. I create all my models in Max. It's good skill to know, though. So you're not a draftsman anymore. You're a 3D artist now for work. What type of models do you make? Let's save our file here to be on the safe side. You never know with Max. And no bugs, only features. Yeah. That's right. No bugs, only features. I think the problem with the Autodesk is they try and integrate a lot of different stuff into Max every time they bring out a new version, and they end up breaking stuff. So. You do Arch Mouya? That's what I'm doing too. Architectural visualization generally at the moment, but I do some 3D work for a games company as well, and 3D models for a games company. Hey Sniper Echo, how's things? Good to see you. Well, you guys are popping in, and I'm just about to finish up. But it's good to see you, Sniper Echo. Always good when you guys pop into the channel. I appreciate it. Remember to follow my channel if you want to know when I am live. I do always post to my Twitter account though, that you can find out that way. Yeah, look, a lot of people have said 2014 is the best, and I've used 2014 and I never had a problem with it, but I used 2016 and I don't have a problem with that either. It's only 2017 that has quite a few problems, unfortunately. Oh no, that's cool. Well, I'm sorry you didn't get a Twitch alert, Sniper Echo. Maybe Twitch is playing up sometimes. A few people I think have I've been reading on Reddit saying that they weren't getting their follower alerts and stuff. But hey, subscribe to my Twitter account. That way you'll know. I always post 15 minutes before I'm about to go live. So you can find out that way. So I start at say 5 PM Pacific time in the US. I'll always make a post to my Twitter account at 4:45 saying I'm going live in 15 minutes. So yeah, I actually do architectural visualization as well, Theoden. I do a lot of heritage work modelling now. So as you can tell, I like this sort of old-fashioned look. Phoenix, yep. Yeah, well, if you've invested in some plugins, expensive plugins like that, then you don't generally want to update your software, which is fair enough. You don't need to. I do have to say though, Max 2017 Nitrous Viewport is very nice. It's very smooth. It throws around a lot of polygons without a problem. So every new release, they've improved that. It's the only reason I'm using it. I will be exporting this model and taking it into 2016 though to do just some V-Ray renders. Yeah, I like V-Ray. I use V-Ray a lot. It's a great renderer. Great quality. Fast. Oh, you follow me? Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, do that, Sniper Echo. Like I said, I do post to Twitter, but just a shame you didn't get the follower alert a bit earlier because I'm going to finish up there for today, guys. I will be back on again tomorrow though, so keep an eye out for me on Twitter. I'll post at 4:45 saying I'm going live in 15 minutes, so I'll be back on again tomorrow at 5 PM Pacific time in the US, which is 12 PM in Australia and 1 AM if you're in the UK, and whatever your time zone is in between those times. So yeah, 5 PM Pacific time in the US tomorrow. I don't understand, Theoden. What are you asking? No, you're talking about a subscription to Autodesk to get their software. I know that they've just moved to a subscription model. You have a good one too, Sniper Echo. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, they have moved to a subscription model, but they're honouring any perpetual licenses if you had the software prior. So it's not completely only subscription yet. I think it will be though coming up in a year or so. But subscription is a good way to get hold of the software if you don't want to fork out the money up front. I don't personally like subscription models. I think they end up costing you more in the long run, but it's certainly an option if you don't want a huge outlay up front to subscribe. Do it that way. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go now. I will be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. Hopefully I'll see you guys then. Like I said, keep an eye on my Twitter page. And I also want to thank Theoden for following my Twitch channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it when you guys follow me on Twitch. It's very good of you. Autodesk don't sell the license anymore. Yeah, yeah. They're moving to a subscription model. That's right. Oh, and thank you as well for the follow. ONG. Thank you. I appreciate the follow. Like I said, it's great when you guys follow me on Twitch. I really do appreciate it very much. You saved £21,000 over 7 years. Well, yeah. That's right. Latest Theoden. And if you ONG, if you mean what do I think of the Unreal modeling engine, it's great. I do have it here on my hard drive. I constantly play with it. I do some 3D modeling work for a game studio here, and they work with the Unreal Engine, so I've used it quite a bit. I probably will end up doing some work on stream with it with you guys at some stage once we get a couple of these models out of the way. So keep an eye out for that. In a future stream I'll be working with the Unreal Engine if you want to have a look at some things in it. I'm going to get going now, guys. Thank you guys again for following my Twitch channel. I really do appreciate it. You're great. I will be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the US. Have a good one, guys.